What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on LeBron James and why teams are lowballing LeBron James. And see, that I think is the reason why LeBron James hasn't really made up his mind or as far as like what team he want to, he's going to be able to go to. I think that when when teams know that another team has to move a player or get rid of the player, then that drops that player's value, right? So like if you don't sign or trade the player as a team before their contract, before the end of their contract, then everybody know that he has to move, right? And so once teams you get in that position, teams know that you got to move this player, and so the other teams be like, "Well, we're not going to give you market price." You basically competing against yourself. From then, in that situation, teams get lowballed, and it's the same thing with LeBron James. LeBron James, throughout his career, has always had the leverage when it came to teams and teams wanting to, like he could demand what he wanted because number one, he was a much better player years ago, and he had more teams competing, wanting to pay him that money. Now that LeBron James is up in age and he don't have a home, teams are not bidding against the Lakers because the Lakers are, he separated himself from the Lakers, whether it was LeBron James who separated himself or whether it was the Lakers who separated themselves from LeBron James. It don't matter. LeBron James is out of the, he's out of here without a home, right? So nobody's going to give LeBron James that $50 million or $54 million that he was asking for. So now LeBron James, teams are asking LeBron James, to take the league minimum. Even before LeBron James announced that he wasn't going back to Los Angeles, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they kind of seen the writing on the wall. And so they made it known and made it public that they only had $3 million that they could offer LeBron James. But they did try to sweeten the pot, and they said, well, we'll also create room for your son, right? And so Cleveland, in my opinion, has the edge. But Rich Bucher kind of touched on this too, and a lot of people are not speaking on this as far as like why teams are lowballing LeBron James. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play Rick Bucher, his response. This is actually Rick Bucher's response to what Shannon Sharp said, but in responding to Shannon Sharp, he also touched on why teams are lowballing LeBron James.
Wouldn't come back to this if there weren't so much reaction in my previous episode and my assessment of LeBron James' value as a free agent at 41 years of age. Most of you saw it as a common sense view, not requiring particularly unique insight, but simply reading the circumstances and situation. Others, mostly LeBron fans, I'm guessing, quickly pointed to the greaseboard tutorial his agent, Rich Paul, gave on his podcast to make it seem as if LeBron were still a hot commodity. Or ESPN saying LeBron is sifting through his choices as if he has an array of options.
See, all right, so let me stop it right there. All these teams already know that LeBron James don't have any options, right? And so throughout LeBron James' career, it's not like he has been making savvy business moves and or his agent has been making savvy business moves. They were making business moves based on LeBron James' value and what he brought to the table. Now that his value has decreased, now that LeBron James no longer has a team to call home, he don't have that kind of value. So when Rich Paul goes on to his podcast and he gives a whiteboard, demonstration of how LeBron James will help this team and help that team, I mean, he just basically speaking into the wind.
One of those choices, according to Rich and ESPN, was Philadelphia. Or is Philadelphia? Rich going on about how attractive they are with the addition of Jaylen Brown, almost insinuating that the Sixers went and got Brown to enhance their chance of landing LeBron. And how much LeBron could do mentoring VJ Edgecombe and teaching Joel Embiid about his health and fitness habits, how much LeBron loves his fellow clutch client, Tyrese Maxey.
Now, why didn't LeBron James teach Anthony Davis about health and fitness habits? He was hurt every other game, so again, teams are not buying into this. Teams and Rick Bucher is going to speak to this. Teams are making moves with like, okay, if we get LeBron James, cool. If we don't get him, that's cool too. Because what they want to do with LeBron James is they want to market him as far as the his retirement tour. Right? Because whatever team get him for his retirement tour, that will be the team that, that's a lot of money. And so if you give LeBron James league minimum and then you market his retirement tour from city to city, the first city you go to, you're going to recoup the money that you get, for bringing in LeBron James and Bronny James. So, and LeBron James understand that. And I think behind the scenes, he may be trying to work out a deal with teams, to get more money.
And how obviously LeBron could provide the Sixers with an element they desperately need as far as leadership and postseason experience. It was practically an infomercial or a live pitch to the Sixers and their fans. Did LeBron's representation make public pleas back in 2010 about how perfect he would be for a variety of teams? No. Teams were putting together elaborate presentations to
see, and that's the difference. Like you said, LeBron James always back in 2010, he knew his worth and he knew his value to the league. So he didn't have to, or Rich Paul didn't have to call teams and say, LeBron would fit here or LeBron would fit there. In 2010, LeBron, he would fit in with any team, right? So it was the other way around. Now that the shoe's on the other foot, now that the teams have the leverage, I don't think that LeBron James and his crew are comfortable with with teams having the leverage, because now they're put in this position where as though they have to take less than what LeBron James wants. He's going to have to compromise, and LeBron James don't want to compromise, probably for a number of different reasons. He don't want to compromise on that money because, number one, like I said, he know that teams are going to make a boatload of money off of him his last year in the league, and he want to be part of that. He want to reap the rewards of that. So he's going to hold out until the very end, in my opinion.
To LeBron as to why he should join them. None of that is going on here. Rich is pitching his client to teams. Teams are not pitching why LeBron should join them. Yet every media outlet parroted Rich's remarks as if they were gospel. Except that the Sixers used their mid-level exception to sign Dean Wade and had to get creative to sign Anthony Simons to a 2-year, $12 million deal, leaving them with 2 roster spots and only minimum contracts to fill them.
Damn, that is tough. So they're making moves. They make whether LeBron James come there or not, they're keeping 2 spots open. And the 2 spots that they're keeping, this is not just Philadelphia. This is everybody who is in the market for LeBron James. They're going to keep 2 spots open for LeBron and Bronny, because that's where the money is going to be this year. Or if he try to play a 25th year, that's where the money is going to be. It's going to be, and I think LeBron James might try to sign a 2-year deal somewhere. But either way, that's where the money is going to be at. It's going to be into the retirement tour for LeBron James. You're going around the league with LeBron James, and people going to come out, people going to tune in. You're going to be selling merch and all this other stuff. So that's where the money is. But nobody's clearing. They're not clearing a lot of cap space so they can bring in LeBron James and chase a championship based on his physical abilities.
If it was indeed LeBron choosing where to go, and the Sixers were one of the teams hoping to be chosen, don't you think they'd leave themselves options to offer something more than the last 2 roster spots and a minimum contract? It sounds like, at best, a take it or leave it scenario. Would they shoehorn LeBron and Bronny to fill the last 2 spots? If that's your idea of everybody wants him, it's going to be LeBron's choice where he goes, have at it. Does he still have value? Absolutely, especially if he's willing to sign a minimum contract. But this is what doesn't jibe with the idea that everybody wants him.
But see, and I also think that maybe the NBA realize how much money they're going to make off LeBron James too, as far as like his last run, or and so they don't have any incentive to not speak highly of LeBron James. I mean, they came this far, so LeBron James will be in the league 1 or 2 more years. Why jump off the ship now when the NBA can generate a lot of money off of LeBron James too? So it's like I said, it's just different for LeBron James at this point in time. Cleveland have 2 spots open for him. Philadelphia have 2 spots open for him, and like Rick Bucher said, those are 2 minimum spots, and they're gonna pay league minimum. Somebody's gonna get LeBron James on the cheap. Everybody already knew, which I think that Cleveland probably got the best deal, the best is the best option because LeBron James, there is a connection there. And Cleveland will make a boatload of money off of LeBron James, even if they just have him for 1 or 2 seasons, they'll make a boatload of money. So that's why teams are lowballing LeBron James, because LeBron James no longer had a leverage, and teams understand that he don't have a leverage, and they're they're giving him, like Rick Bucher said, the take it or leave it deal. Somebody's gonna make a boatload of money off of LeBron James, and right now, that's in my opinion, that's the only question. Like, which one of these teams will luck up and so-called win the LeBron James lottery? So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.